want to hear about the Sunset Strip? Go to my website, jizzypearl.net, all you new subscribers, and check it out. I've written a bunch of books and they totally rock. Get them at jizzypearl.net.
It's called Blackout in the Red Room.
There's an old adage that says, singing is hard, but the trick is making it look easy. And I guess that's true. I've been singing for so long that I don't really think about the 1,001 variables that goes into pulling off a good gig, the physical and the mental. So let's talk about it. Now, I took exactly 6 vocal lessons as a kid. My teacher was a woman named Elizabeth Sabine. Now, she was somewhat famous in the Los Angeles area as the heavy metal vocal teacher. She had a few students that were famous. Ron Keel, Vince Neil come to mind. And she charged the astronomical sum of $25 a half hour, which was crazy to me because I had no money. But I figured if I wanted to do this as a profession someday, and if I wanted to get paid someday, then I had to bite the bullet. And as I said, I only took 6 lessons, but what I learned has stayed with me these 30 plus professional years. And because of this, I've hardly ever lost my voice in all that time. The only time I ever really lost my voice was not because of poor technique, but it was because of partying. You know, too much booze, drinking, fighting, yelling, stupid shit. The first thing she did was she took a belt and she put it around my chest and tied it. And then she made me sing. But every time I tried to sing, the belt would slip off. I didn't understand it at the time. And then she made me put my hand in front of my mouth and sing. And that was weird. I put my hand in front of my mouth and she goes, "See, you're pushing too much air." And I was. Try it. Go like this and talk or try to sing and you're going to see you're pushing a lot of air. Now the belt around my chest was to show me that I had poor diaphragmatic technique, whatever that meant. I mean, what's a diaphragm? You know, isn't that like a female thing? And the hand in front of my face was to show that I was pushing too much air. Now, if I wanted to sing efficiently and not lose my voice, I had to learn not to push so much air. But how do you do that? Okay, now here's an experiment. Check it out. Clench your stomach, hold it, and hold your breath and try and talk. You're gonna sound like this. It's weird. It's an extreme example of what I'm talking about. But when you do that, you're not pushing any air at all. I guess the best example I can give is if you see someone that's going to punch you in the stomach, and as he's punching, you're automatically going to tighten up your stomach. You're going to do that. That's the principle. That's the principle. By tightening up your stomach and pulling in, you will sing from your diaphragm and not from your throat. That's what you want to do. Your diaphragm, think of it as a speaker. Think of it as a resonator. And when it's tight, it's easily controlled. You're singing from here. You're not singing from here. So when I tighten up and sing like that, it comes out of my throat, but no air comes out. Like, close the city and tell the people that something's coming to call. See what I mean? Efficiency is what you're going for. Now your voice is more efficient. You can sing an hour or 2 hours and you're not going to lose your voice. That's the difference. Amateur singers, they start off great, but then they blow their voice out in a couple of songs because they're blowing too much air. You can't do that when you're on tour and you've got a singing schedule of 3 or 4 or 5 nights a week, an hour, 90 minutes a night. You can't lose your voice or you'll f*** everything up. You'll f*** your band up. You'll f*** the tour up. laryngitis, sore throat. It happens all the time. Canceled shows. That means no one gets paid and your band starts looking at you like you're a dick. And they don't understand that your voice isn't like a guitar or a bass. It's not something you plug in. It's fickle and it's organic, and you have to take care of it. If you treat it right, it'll treat you right. The principle is the stomach clenching. You tighten it up when you sing. When I sing like that, like that, like that. That way, no air comes out and my voice is more efficient. And that way, I can last a lot longer. So that's the trick. So how do you do this weird physical thing? Well, you need a strong stomach. You do. You don't need Chippendale abs, but you need a strong stomach. And I guess what that means is lots and lots of sit-ups. I've done thousands of sit-ups over the years, just thousands of them. And they never get easy. They're always hard. But the thing is I've always kept my diaphragm and my stomach tight so I'm able to sing. When I sing, I push 20% and I keep the other 80% with me in my little reservoir for the rest of the gig. And this way, with this singing technique, you can sing with the same intensity for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, or when you're recording 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and you don't lose your voice. It's really killer. That's one of the big things I learned with those vocal lessons way back when, and it stayed with me. And once I learned how to do this technique, I didn't really need lessons anymore. It was like learning to drive. Once I got the hang of it, I have to just put it into practice. Now, I don't know if this is a real thing or just a metaphorical thing in my head, but when you sing, you try to balance your note on a specific part of your vocal cords. Here are your vocal cords. Now, if I'm singing, I want to sing on a certain part of it. I don't want to go up here or down here or down here, because then it's going to open them up and I'm going to start blowing air. You want to focus. Like a trumpet player, for example. He doesn't go, he focuses on one point, and that's how he gets the sound. That's what you want to do. So if I'm singing, I'm going to focus on a specific part of my vocal cord, like, oh, I'm tumbling, tumbling right, tumbling, my feet don't touch the ground. See, I'm basically balanced on one part of my vocal cord, and that's where the note comes out. It's weird to try and describe it, but that's how I do it in my head. It takes practice, man. It takes practice. When you sing, think about where you're placing your note on your vocal cord and don't let it waver. And then you're going to get that unwavering, badass note. Here's another trick. I know I'm throwing a lot of shit at you, but here's another trick. When you sing, lower your jaw when you sing. If you watch Steve Perry or Whitney Houston, when they do those long, badass, sustaining notes, you always see them lower their jaw and put their tongue down on the bottom of their throat, like that. That's what you want to do, because what happens is that when you do that, you're opening up your throat and you're going to get a nice, fat, round tone that comes out, like you shook me all night long. Yeah, you. See, I put my tongue down and I lower my jaw. Shook me all night long. It's cool. You're clenching your stomach. You're not pushing air. You're focusing, singing on a certain part of your vocal cord. You're lowering your jaw. Your tongue is on the bottom, right like that. And here's another thing. Basically, I call it planting and playing. Now, when you watch Rob Halford or Brian Johnson, when they're going to go for a hardcore note, it's almost like they plant themselves down and they sing down into the note. It's a metaphorical thing, but that's how I do it. Like picture if there's 100-mile-an-hour wind coming at you, you're going to lower yourself like this, and you've locked yourself in and you've anchored yourself, and so you're gonna sing like a yeah. You know what I mean? And it totally works. I don't know. I can't understand it, but it works. So when you're going for a high note or a long note or something like that, you want to drop down and you want to plant and sing down, sing into it like that. And somehow the note comes out badass. Well, that is a lot to digest. That's a lot of weird physical shit to digest. But it takes practice. You know what I mean? I do all these things when I'm singing a gig, but I do them because I've done it for so many years that it's like muscle memory. I don't think about it anymore. I don't think about all the 101 physical things. I do it, and it's automatic, and that's how I get through the gig. Now, here's another thing. Singing requires you to use your lungs like a bellows. So it stands to reason that if you're going to be a heavy metal rock singer, you have to build up your cardio to be able to breathe in and out and do 60, 70, 80, 90 minutes. So I would suggest that guys start running. If you don't already run, you need to start running. You know, I used to do 5 miles a day back in the day. Now I only do about 2 or 3, but it's enough. It builds up my cardio, and I'm able to last every single night for as long as I need to. So go get a pair of running shoes and start running. At first, you'll feel like you're going to have a heart attack if you run 50 feet, but you get used to it. And running is rad. Running is very zen. It's like meditation. Once you get into it, it's totally killer. All right, well, we've talked about the physical. Now let's talk about the mental. You're the front man. The front man of the band comes with a lot of responsibility because everyone looks at you first. Everyone's judging you. If you suck, your whole band suffers. Now, how do you rock? How do you rock? It's weird. It's an intangible. It's subjective. Standing in front of the mic, holding it like you're holding onto it for dear life, and staring down at your feet and mumbling stuff between songs does not, in my mind, constitute a proper rock show. You have to entertain them. You have to entertain the people. Being a frontman means that you're the focal point. You're also the lightning rod of the band. You have to command the stage, and when you do command the stage, the audience taps into that energy, and it's a symbiotic thing, and when it works, it's amazing. I mean, you've heard the phrase, oh, he had the crowd eating out of his hand. It actually works like that. See, it's music and it's singing, but it's also entertainment. You don't have to do jumping jacks for an hour. You have to somehow reach out to the audience and connect with them, and then they will engage with you. Watch Mick Jagger or Steven Tyler. They're professionals. They are the ringleaders of the rock and roll circus, and that's how they do it. So you say you're a good singer, but when you get up on stage, especially a big stage, you're scared shitless. I get it. I used to be like that back in the day. I'd get up on stage and I'd be afraid of saying the wrong thing or fucking up or just not being able to pull it off. So I did what a lot of guys do when they're scared. I drank. I drank a lot of booze, and booze gave me the bravado to get up on stage and look them in the eye and do my thing. It helped a lot until, of course, it stopped helping and became more of a crutch. So then I stopped. Okay, lesson 1, get your game face on. Don't just be in the back dressing room getting ready for the gig, and when they call your name, you just walk up on stage like you're David Lee Roth, because you're not. Get your game face on. Get into the zone. Watch Mike Tyson on the old videos when he's walking into the ring. He's got that look on his face like he's ready to kill. He's in the zone. He's totally in the zone. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go that far, but I'm saying before the gig, take a few minutes, man. Get away from people. Don't take selfies. Turn inward and start getting into the gig. Get your game face on, and then when they call your name, think of it like you're a professional wrestler going down the chute, getting ready to rock and roll. That's what you need. You're in the zone. And then when the music starts, boom, you're in it. You're in it. That's how I do it. Before I go on, I get away from people. I don't want to talk to people. I get into my personal zone, my rock zone. And then when I'm ready to go on stage, I'm that guy. I'm totally that guy. And it works. It works. Singers, get yourself a pair of in-ear monitors. You need them. YouTube is a brutal mistress. Just think of your boy JBJ. Sennheiser, Shure, they make great in-ear systems, and you're going to want to have that because in-ears will help you stay in control of your stage environment. I can't tell you how many times I've done sound checks for 2 or 3 hours, and then when I go on stage, the sound is completely different. The bottom line is if you can't hear yourself, then you're not going to be able to sing in key, and you're not going to have that confidence that you need as a frontman. And it's an ugly thing when it happens. Okay, I've thrown a lot at you. But let's recap. You've been doing sit-ups. You clench your stomach. You know how to pull in and focus your note on a certain part of your vocal cord. You're lowering your jaw so your note comes out nice and round. You got your cardio from running. You're in shape. You're ready to rock. It's 10 minutes to your gig. Now you're going to get your game face on. You're going to get away from people. You're going to step away from the selfie machine, and you're going to get into your gig. You're going to talk yourself into it, man. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be that guy. You're filling that reservoir with the confidence that you need to go out there and command that stage, because that's what the people want. The people are rooting for you. Let me tell you, this isn't like the blabbermouth message board nonsense. They really want you to win. They are rooting for you. So when you go out there and give it to them, they're going to give it back to you. And here's another dirty little secret. It's okay to have an ego on stage. You need an ego. You need that ego for your confidence. It's all right to have an ego, but when you get off stage, lose the ego or you're just an asshole. And when you're up on stage, you're the lightning rod. Remember, you're the lightning rod. Play out to people. Play to them. Look them in the eye. Embrace them, and they will embrace you. And another thing, this is a big thing. When you're up on stage, don't be a dick. Don't talk down to the crowd. Don't be condescending. Don't yell at the sound man on stage. Don't have this vibe of I'm not having a good time, or oh, they're not clapping enough for you. Oh, what is this, Cemeteriesville? I've seen it before, man. That's the worst. Your audience wants you to win. They're rooting for you. But if you're shitty to them, they will give it back to you in spades. First will come the booze, then the catcalls, then the bottles, and pretty soon you're going to have to run off stage. Don't be that guy. Give the people what they want. They want an escape. The music takes them back to a simpler time in their youth and somehow taps into that part of their brain. The fun part, the no bills part, the no kids part, the no mortgage part. And they get to, for 60 minutes or 70 minutes, they get to enjoy themselves like they did when they were a kid. And it's the greatest feeling in the world. And then you get the accolades, dude. Oh, great gig. I loved it, man. You guys were great. And it feels good. Anyway, I hope this little tutorial helped you guys in some way and maybe gave you a little bit of a window into what I do and how I do it. Singing is a hard job. Some say it is the hardest job, but it's also a great job. And I love it, and I love it to be able to do it every night. And when I do throw that touchdown pass, it's the greatest feeling in the world. Anyway, it's your old pal Jizzo, rockin' and rollin', and I'll see you next time.